It's where you belong. Give it strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Paul, and I am joined tonight by Mr. Stato himself, Alex. Billy is unwell, so we wish him all the best, and hopefully he's back to his fighting fit self very, very soon. Obviously, Lady Sam will be back over the weekend. It is a kind of transfer show tonight where we are actually looking at possibilities for Newcastle United forwards who maybe... I put strikers on the thumbnail, and I was just disciplined well and truly by Stato before we came on that it should have said forwards. So my deep apologies for that. However, we're going to chat about, I think we've got 4 tonight. So just to see, where the ground lies and, what these players might bring should they sign. We're not saying they're going to, of course. We never do on transfer shows. This is just looking towards the January window and maybe who we can target or who have been linked and what they could bring to the club should they sign. But as usual, if you do enjoy the show tonight, please give it the thumbs up. And if you are new and you like what you see, please do subscribe. It is free to do so. And of course, you can support the channel in 2 ways. First of all, by the membership. Just hit the join button below me and Alex. And of course, super chats are available, which is the $ underneath the live comments. And that also guarantees your comment to be read out live on this show. Good evening, Alex.
Good evening. How are we doing?
We are good. And look, we may as well start the show, not with transfers, so to speak, but the news yesterday broke of that happening, Alex, which is, of course, Anthony Gordon signing his new deal, and very interesting, Paul Mitchell and Eddie Howe pictured in the same photo, looking all smileys as well. Now, obviously, there was speculation that this was signed some time ago. I've misread somewhere that it had already been announced, but I was wrong, and I'm very rarely wrong, as people know. But I was wrong, and it obviously Newcastle announced it yesterday. It's a real boost, Alex, isn't it?
Oh, it's massive. It's absolutely enormous because we've now got a young 23-year-old winger who's one of the best wingers in the league on a contract, and they've released a video. He's clearly very happy. The summer was just clearly an absolute... Well, I think had it not been for all the changes at board level and senior management and all of the restructuring and all of the chaos and the transfer window, I think they would have come out and squashed the rumours a lot earlier than this. And it wasn't doable for whatever reason. So, yeah, I think he's been fine for a long time. I think we've just been waiting for this, really. And it's win-win for us. We either keep a fantastic player who likes us, or we get lots and lots of money in a transfer sale. Like it's literally win-win. Obviously, we'd probably prefer to keep him. I
like the way in the video, Alex, he was talking about, it's home. He's very settled, and there's some very, very good comments. He seems very down to earth, doesn't he? Considering what
he does,
many people thought of him when he first arrived at the club. Of course, a completely different guy. Look, he may be not in perfect form right now, but the fact is he's committed to Newcastle United, and for me, getting him to a longer contract extension, the fact that he signed it also makes me fully aware of how much he wants to be here and looking forward to the future. And like he said in the interview with Gary Neville, winning things with this football club.
Mm. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't know if anybody caught the Freudian slip. The fans are great. They're great everywhere. They're great in the street. He literally said they're great in the street, which he probably didn't mean it that way, but obviously an accidental reference to him being chased down the street by Evertonians, which is quite amusing. But yeah, he looks like he's up for it. We've seen that with the Gary Neville interview, like you stated. He is a winner. He sits at home, and every single meal, anything that he eats it's for a purpose. He wants to be the best he can be at what he does, and he wants to be a winner. So we need more people like that on the team.
Yeah. Jonathan, I've just addressed this. I thought you said last week that Gordon's contract was done a long time ago. I just said I misread it somewhere. I thought it was done.
It was done a long time ago. There's a reason for it. Yeah. So in the video, Paul, I don't know if you noticed, but he said last match when referencing, and then the cameras about it was about the tifo and the war flag stuff about him, which was the Man City game. So that was recorded just after the Man City game. So this has been signed for a while.
It's just Newcastle take a while to obviously announce things, as we well know. Look at Dan Burns' extension. They didn't announce that till last week. And that was done in the summer. So, you know, does it really matter? God, it just trying to get one over each other. Dear me. I mean, come on. Trevor McDonald, member for 4 months on the channel. Thank you very much, Trevor, for your support. 4 months already. Loved every minute of it. So happy to be part of the Toon Review family. Long may it continue. Thank you very much, mate. And Trolls has gifted 5 Toon Review memberships as well. Thank you very much. Yvonne says, I love the fact he was talking about long-term cup winning for the Toon. Absolutely brilliant. You know, and hopefully now it's all out that he's signed, and we'll see a very positive Anthony Gordon on Sunday at Chelsea, of course. Gordon deal is great, but can we play him in his best position? Well, his best position's on the left, isn't it?
I mean, that's where we played him in the last game when we lost.
Yeah. Kevin Greener says, do you think anything in contract or in talks before signing to ensure more time as left winger? Obviously does not like playing right wing and is much better on the left.
That's not what he said. From the horse's mouth, he literally said he'll play wherever.
Yeah. And I think that's the kind of attitude that we love, that it doesn't matter where he plays. He'll play it with the best of his ability, and he'll play anywhere. So I don't think for 1 second, Alex, that Anthony Gordon is told that he's playing on the right and he takes a huff. Anthony Gordon just loves playing football, and it doesn't matter whether he's left, right, through the middle. He'll still play it to his very best ability.
Yeah, I mean, look how he did against Man City. That was, yeah, he was fine. There was nothing wrong with his forward performance against Man City. He got mucked in all over the pitch. He contributed in midfield. The press was absolutely ferocious, and he made the forward run to win the penalty, and he, got us a goal. So he's fine wherever. I think a lot of people are just pointing to the first few games of the season where he was coming back from a very shaky Euros where he didn't play. He was very disappointed. He'd had a few weeks off. He needed to get his fitness back. And he's looked, since the Man City game, in terms of pressing and fitness, he's looked absolutely peak. Yeah. It's just a finishing we need to get kind of tidied up.
Which will come. Ollie says, I thought you would have done a news show on Gordon yesterday. I've been a little bit busy, Ollie, behind the scenes, just sorting out all this new software that we're getting, hopefully, for the Match Day Live weekend this weekend. I am going to start bringing the daily news shows back, possibly lives as well. So, I like doing the morning shows live as well. So we are going to be bringing them back. But there's stuff going on behind the scenes as well. Obviously with Susan Beanill as well, and Puppy, etc. It's a busy time in the Ditchburn Mansion right now. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Call Me Swift says, words can't describe how happy I am about Gordon's contract. I can finally sleep at night. Wow. Kush de la Kush says, we should be all over Borja Mayoral in the window. He's an utter baller. Anthony Gordon is a great asset to this club. Since arriving, I feel he's a better player than Isak. well, he's certainly playing better than Isak this season. I don't think there's any doubt. Alex says, how are you going to do the Chelsea previews? Will you do 2 separate ones or a general one? No, we'll do 2 separate ones because it's 2 separate games, 2 probably different teams. So exactly. Yeah, we always review each match. It doesn't matter whether they're back to back, but the Carabao Cup game is going to be very different to the Premier League one, because the Premier League one's at Stamford Bridge, and of course we're at home for the Carabao. So there will be 2 separate ones for that. By the way, just regarding the new software, we are looking for sponsors to have their company's logo up on the match day live shows, and separately for daily news shows as well. So if you own a company or know anybody who might be interested in a sponsorship deal with us, which will basically get their logo on, they'll get a link to the website, and of course many shout outs throughout the show to promote the company, drop me an email. The email address is in the description, and we're just looking for somebody to help us along with the software by sponsorship. So if somebody, if you own a company, know somebody or something like that, and you're interested, please get in touch, and hopefully we can make something happen. Right, let's move on to the transfers. The first player. Why am I seeing Lewis Hall?
There's a reason. It's something I need to mention before the first player.
All right, then go on. Let's get it on the screen. Then there you go. It's
possibly more of a Friday topic, but I just felt like this has triggered me so much that I feel like I have to reference it. So all of you can read, presumably. Lee Ryder has stated that temporary Newcastle United transfer ban now lifted. So I am going to distance myself from Paul and the Toon review and say that this is my personal opinion and does not reflect the opinion of my colleagues and of the channel. I'm absolutely done with the Chronicle, Lee Ryder, and a lot of journalists at the moment. I am getting sick of this. I'm absolutely sick of it because the comments are from people that are so confused. I'm so bored of this that, you have a job as a journalist. You're not Spider-Man. You don't have to uphold justice, but it's misleading the fan base. Isn't he a Geordie? I'm pretty sure he's a Newcastle fan. I don't get it.
Yeah.
The whole reason I'm part of this channel was because I wanted to offer more of an insight for people, because I wanted, when I was looking for content for our club, I couldn't find a lot because we looked like we were going to get relegated. Nobody cared. I tried to start a podcast before I joined Paul. Nobody really cared. Nobody was interested because we were terrible. And now suddenly we're a lot better. I feel like the journalists have got a bigger role, and they just get a free reign to just do whatever they want. And I've read this article. Nowhere does he kind of reference why he stated transfer ban. I think it's to do with the fact he couldn't play against us, but then Chelsea they allowed him to play the Carabao Cup game, but then he didn't even play in it anyway.
Yeah, I remember
it's something to do with that, which is not a transfer ban, however way you spin this. I am just so bored of it. I don't know the man. I've never met the man. I don't know if he's a nice man, a bad man. No idea. But that is unacceptable. I'm sorry, but these people have gone to uni.
No, I agree. I agree.
They get salaried. It is their job. They sit in an office all day and they come up with that. That is unacceptable.
I mean, this has gone on for ages now, though, Alex. Let's be fair. Craig Hope with some of his reporting, it just seems, what annoys me is we sometimes get flagged by people for saying, oh, we're negative on this channel. I mean, if you look at what Craig Hope and Lee Ryder are coming out with, there's more negativity than positivity from any of them.
Craig Hope's got a lot of truth and stuff, and he's a good source.
Well, yes, but there's a lot. It's a lot of bad news a lot of the time.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I don't get it. They're supposed to be, especially Lee Ryder with the Chronicle, supposed to be a local rag. Of course, it's not owned by local people anymore. We know that. But being a fan, putting up ridiculous headlines, I mean, Christ almighty, it just
makes me sad because I want to read it. I want to read the local journalists. I want more information that's not my opinion. I want to go and get more you know, it's good. It's good for the club. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It gives us different ideas. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody's got different sources and different styles. I want to read this stuff, but when I open things like that, I'm just like, oh, what is the point? It's so
absolutely.
disappointing.
Yep. Clarkey says, does the sponsorship have to be vetted by an independent body? Well, I was thinking, Alex, if anyone does apply, maybe we should just ask Richard Masters first. Being a Newcastle United channel, we know how he feels about Newcastle and whether that would be possible. David says, do they need to be locally based companies only, Paul, or would you consider nationwide? I'd consider anywhere, globally. If anybody wants to be involved, the reason we state this is because obviously we get thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views. So your company, whoever it would be viewed by thousands of people and promoted by us to that thousands of people. So it's definitely beneficial if anybody wants to get involved. As I say, the email address is in the description, contact.thetoonreview@gmail.com. That'll get you through to myself, and we can go from there. But yeah, it's about time that we see smaller channels getting sponsored and things like that who don't have the views we have. But we've got obviously the match day live.
We've been very careful about who we wanted, so we've declined certain things previously. So we want it to be appropriate, don't we?
Certain things that aren't really appropriate to a football channel, really. But we're not. I mean, beauty products isn't something that we'd. Well, to be honest, I'd consider anything now because we're stepping it up with the software and everything, and we do need your help if you're willing to sponsor. So, thank you. Okay, right. Who is the first player, Alex?
It is.
By the way, a lot of people are agreeing with you in the chat regarding your little raw meat.
I feel bad because it's his job, and I'm sure he's a nice man. But that one headline has just tipped me over the edge. It's
it does. It triggers a lot of Newcastle fans. Can people stop mentioning Manscaped? Manscaped did get in touch with us. We did get back to them. They did not get back to us. Now, whether they watched the show when we were having a laugh about what sort of fruit we would do for the advertisement, I don't know. But it didn't help. Would your new software provider not go in for sponsorship? Maybe not at the minute. We are looking for some, away from that. Manscaped is everywhere, great for the plums, absolutely. But it's what we've, Alex has got to model this. So if it is going to be something like Manscaped, then Alex has got to come up.
I thought Billy was going to do the modeling.
Oh, well, I mean, Billy's not well at the minute. I wouldn't like to put any pressure on him. Right. First player tonight that has been linked with Newcastle United is Leroy Sané. Now, remember, these are forwards, guys, not just strikers. I got it wrong in the thumbnail. I do apologize. So there you go. Right, Alex, Leroy Sané, of course, formerly of Manchester City.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. There was some random, again, Dross website stating that he was disappointed in the links to Newcastle, that he potentially had hoped he was going to be linked with a higher, what was the word, caliber, tier, grade, whatever we're doing. I don't know how they know he said that. It's not true. Clearly, they've just written something in the website. So realistically, would he fit with what we need position wise, in terms of how he plays, age, profile, salary? Well, for anybody who doesn't know, he's not as young as he used to be. He's not the young Man City winger anymore. He is the 28.5-year-old Bayern Munich winger. So he's a
lot of people mentioning those wages though, Alex.
Yeah, it's a lot of biscuits, isn't it? It's however,
I had no idea he was on that much wage, to be honest.
It's Bayern Munich, isn't it?
Well,
well, bearing in mind though, everyone, people saying too high wage. Well, there are ways. There are ways. Let's not forget, Gaza got a trout farm in his contract in Italy, so there are ways we can get people. His contract does expire in June 2025, so his contract is up, and there are things you can do. You can do upfront costs. You can do a signing on fee, a signing on bonus. You can do performance bonuses, winning bonuses, things like that. So it doesn't have to be all front loaded. It can be front loaded. It doesn't have to be spread across the salary, which would therefore appease the rest of the squad. They wouldn't be throwing their toys out the pram that he was on super money.
Yeah.
So it's doable. However, I kind of agree with the website nonsense that he would probably want a title challenging side right now. If you imagine this guy, he's used to either playing for City. I mean, we'll skip a step. We'll go down and have a look at his career to date.
Well, given his age as well, I mean, this will probably be his final massive move, won't it, at his age?
I don't know. I still think he's young enough. He could do 3 years at somewhere and then move somewhere again at 31. It depends if he has much of a drop off.
I mean, for sort of title challenges, look at that. It's
but 31. If he could do 3 years somewhere and then leave somewhere else at 31. It depends how he ages. Obviously, pace is a quite an important thing for this kind of player. But then you look at Mo Salah, who's in that kind of age range now. It's not really affected him too much. He's still an incredible player. But this guy is used to winning. So you would imagine if he steps away from Bayern Munich, let's not forget he wanted to go to Bayern because he wanted to go back to Germany because he is German. So I don't know why he would leave now, unless he's not getting the kind of game time and attention he wants, or injuries, which we will look at. I don't know where he would go, but I would say he would want to join a Champions League side and a side capable of pushing for the title in that domestic league.
Alex, just a warning for you, mate. Just not to promote these players too much because Todd Bowley's in the chat, as he normally is for our transfer shows. So we have to be careful that we don't promote these players too much.
Very true. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't really care if... go on, Todd. Go for him. That's fine. No problem. You'll run out of money eventually. Okay, in terms of game time, I mean, 32 appearances, and then in last season's... obviously, it was Bayer Leverkusen that won the title, and Bayern dropped to third. 40-odd million goals by Harry Kane, and they came third, which was quite hilarious. Should we go and have a look at some data for the 28-year-old? He's quite good. He's still very good. Nearly 5 progressive carries per 90 is absurd. And ball carrying doesn't really have much of a, it's not down to your teammates. It's what you're doing yourself with the ball. So he's still very good at it. Although some players can make space for you, I guess. Shots total is about 3, just shy of 3 per game, which is lovely. Progressive passes is okay. It's just above average for his position. Again, it's low on the defensive metrics, but it's Bayern Munich. The ball is basically there.
Well, they never defend really most of the time, do they? So
yeah, not massively. And if you go and have a look at who he compares to, it's not a bad list.
Well, there's some talent on there.
Yeah, just a bit.
Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, Salah, Doku, Diaz, Yamal, Hoffman, Zagrova, and Benrahma. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all, indeed. So yeah, he would be fantastic. He is by nature, he's a winger. He's played left, he's played right. Obviously, we would probably employ him on the right hand side. Employ him, and deploy him. Both senses of the word. Yeah. On SofaScore. Here we go. They do agree with me. He's left wing, right wing, passing, playmaking, long balls. He's good at knitting together that threaded counter attack.
I think you should knock that value down a little bit, Alex. Just
let's press that.
Do. Yeah.
Foxy's mentioned injuries. Yeah, I mean, mate. Yeah, we were about to get there. Look, there is a lot of.
We always go to the injuries. It's just something we have to do now on the transfer shows is cover the injury record. So we will get to that.
He's good height though. He's taller than I remember. 184 centimeters. Not bad. What's that?
Tall,
6'1",
6'1" or 6'2", I think it is. Yeah.
About 6'1". And if we scroll down, he's doing all of the games. He's doing lots of footballs. He scored against Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League, and they beat them 9-2. That is absurd. They play. It's Barcelona Bayern tonight, guys. So when we finish the transfer show, we have a very juicy Champions League fixture. So Bayern Stuttgart, he 6.7. He's not really scored recently, has he? Okay. Oh yeah, and they lost to Villa. Where is he playing for them? Oh, he's not starting. Bench.
Who was that against? Well, maybe this is why he's been linked with other club. Maybe he's not happy on the bench anymore.
No, he's not starting. Okay, should we have a look at injuries then? Because he's obviously not starting. Injuries.
While you're doing that, Alex, we've got a super chat in from Darren Cox. Thank you, Darren. Hiya, guys. Agree 100% with Stato Ari, the Chronicle reporting. Though Sané is never coming to us. Wages too high, and we're not at the level he wants yet.
I agree completely, but he's linked, and the rule on this channel is we do have a look at them just in case, because you never know.
Yeah. Oh, good God.
Yeah. Pubic bone irritation, inflammation of the pubic bone, followed by he was injured with rest.
He's had problems with the pubic bone quite a few times. 3 times on there.
I'm sorry, but
what the hell has happened? What the hell's going on?
Don't know.
What's
he's
he
had
been
a lot of
doing
issues
in his home life? Pubic bone irritation. I mean, is pubic bone irritation, is that an STD? I mean, what the hell's been going on with him?
I'm just more concerned that he took 11 days off with rest. I wish I could call my boss up and say, "Oh, can I have paid leave? I'm ill with 11 days of rest." Whatever that means. So yeah,
wow.
he's been.
I mean, that is a little weird.
Current stint until sort of a month between August and September. He had a month off for fitness.
Interesting comment from Jordan, Alex. Paul Sané has been told he can leave Bayern as he's available to leave after signing Elise. He's not wanted.
Fair point. Yeah, Elise's the guy now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So,
and we got a super chat in from Michael Carroll. Thank you, Mike. I'm actually a Villa fan, but wanted to contribute a Villa fan. But your channel is so welcoming. It also speaks to real people. Thank you very much, Michael. That's very, very kind. Really appreciate that. And of course, opposition fans are very welcome on this channel. As long as
top of the Champions League as well at the moment. Well done.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, as long as everybody is kind to each other and has decent opinions and not idiots. We welcome all our opposing fans. So thank you very much, Michael. I'm not impressed with that transfer record. Injury record, Alex. It's that would worry me.
Yeah, I mean, on average, what you're looking at, you're probably going to lose him for a couple of months every season, maybe a little bit less than that. We're used to that with forwards, apart from Anthony Gordon. But
I don't think I've ever seen that though, Alex. The pubic bone irritation and inflammation. I've never seen that before.
It's probably a hip thing where it connects to the hip, I would imagine. I mean,
this is one show I'm very pleased that Billy Trey's not on, actually. Because I'm sure Billy would have had a few comments to make regarding that.
I'm sure he's watching and he's just done his funny little expression. So,
yeah.
I mean, Foxy makes a good point that this is one of the guys that's never fully realised his potential. Yeah, I think
possibly, yeah.
Salah is what everybody thought Sané was going to be, and it just never happened. He's still fantastic, amazing player, but people thought he was going to be like the guy, like on the front of FIFA, the game, and sort of superstar. And he never quite took that next step from,
But some of the reasons for injury on there, Alex, are weird. I mean, fitness, 31 days. I mean, what the hell is that all about?
Well, I mean, there is a page 2.
He's got 2 pages. Good God Almighty.
This is back from early days of Man City and Schalke. No surgery. He had a cold, torn ligaments, hand injury for 3 days, a minor knock. God, is he doing bare knuckle boxing in his garden or something?
Well, I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, he may, the way he's going on, he's probably bare knuckle boxing with his wife, judging by some of these injuries. It's incredible. I've never seen that before.
We're not suggesting anything there, by the way. We're saying he's losing in that fight.
Yes, very much.
Well, that's Leroy Sané anyway. I don't really want to breathe too much more life into that as a...
it's strange. I've just seen a comment. I can't remember who put it in, but saying, "I wish my pubic area was irritated for more than 10 days." Jordan says, "Big for me is he can sign for us in January for next summer, and it's a non-domestic player."
I can see him at an Italian club personally. I think he'll go somewhere like Juventus or somewhere like that.
Yeah. Anthony says, "Is pubic bone a euphemism? God knows. I have no idea." Peter says, "Seems he's been dragging the same injury from April to August before having surgery to fix it." Alexander says, "I'll just send my notes to Paul of all these injuries with a proper treatment length." Well, if you can explain the pubic one for me, Alexander, I mean, save that for when you come on the show, because, I want to see you say that with a straight face. Because apparently it's part of the hip bone, says Ben. So it could be his hip. So why not put hip? Just. Trevor says pubic bone is your groin area where you would get a groin strain. It's the bone, not the muscles. I mean, I'm being educated tonight. There's no doubt about it. Wacky Angler says, do you think Target will be up for an award for the longest time out with injury or most bizarre injury reason?
Who?
Yeah, absolutely.
Never heard of him.
No, he says it. Alexander says it's common injury amongst basketball players.
Well, he needs to stop playing basketball then, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, that's I honestly, I have never seen that. And I don't think we've done an injury report where we've seen anything regarding a pubic area. I don't know why I'm focusing on that so much, but it's weird. Mark says maybe he's had a willy extension. I'm not sure that's the reason. Jopadoni says pubic bone is just above your hello sailor. It's part of your pelvis. Well, there you go. I mean, look, in all honesty, I don't think this is a signing that's going to happen. Yes, he's linked, but the problem is for me is that he's going to ask for astronomical wages. If he's on 300 and whatever it was, grand or euros a week, he's going to ask for similar, isn't he? It's going to be a hard job signing him.
100%. I prefer we go for the same kind of signings as we've tried, like age profile wise as well, with sort of Botman at the age he was, Willock at the age he was. Then you look at Isak, Gordon, go for that 23, 24 mark, where their value hasn't skyrocketed yet. Obviously, it's always a little bit riskier, but I'd prefer to go in that kind of direction.
Yeah. Over 1,000 watching now on both platforms, guys, on YouTube and X. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. Please do hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. Jordan says, Paul, do you think Mitchell will bring in 3 players for the future with big talent? As he did say, it's a plan to bring in 3 each window for the next 4 windows to reshape the first team with quality. Well, I think he's got to concentrate. I probably think his main concentration, Alex, this coming transfer window has got to be the first team. If there's a couple of youngsters available to bring into the academy, fair enough. But I think the concentration has to be on certain positions in that first team.
100%, because no disrespect to the academy or the ladies team or anything, any other subsector of the club or independent part of whatever it is, the men's team needs to do the business for everything else to exist and keep being funded appropriately. So, we need to make it work. It does need to work. So, so it's some major overhauls considering the timelines and goals that have been set by the board and by previous people in statements, whether that's Eddie Howe, Paul Mitchell, Dan Ashworth previously, Amanda Savvy, whoever it is. People have talked about timelines and trophies. So people do need to obviously work towards delivering that. So it's, we don't want empty, not threats, empty promises. He's got to crack on with it, because everybody at the club will know that window was very poor for the first team.
Nick says, Paul, do you think Mitchell can talk Eddie into actually signing a true holding midfielder? I don't think that'll be where he's going in January. I can't see that. I think he's got to address a striker, and he's got to address the right hand side. I think those are the 2 main positions. As a fan, I would hope that they'll look at in the January window. But we know what January is like. It's a bit of a nightmare. Certainly for trying to get deals done and what other teams are asking for players and things like that. It can be extremely difficult. Next player on the list, Alex, is God Almighty, Maghnes Akliouche.
Akliouche. So some people may know him, and Nick Thornton wins bingo for tonight because he actually shouted him out earlier. So well done, Nick.
Really? Oh well, I must hold my hands up right now and say I've never heard of this guy, Alex. So over to you.
Well, it's he's quite impressive. He is exactly what we're looking for positionally wise. He is a right winger who is obviously left-footed. Plays for Monaco in Ligue 1.
Who are Monaco right now?
are absolute, as Fox has just said, flying. So they beat Red Star Belgrade or Crvena Zvezda, however we're supposed to say the new version of their name. Beat them 5-1 yesterday. And he absolutely ripped them several new orifices on his own. He was quite impressive. Hit the post from a corner. He had a fantastic assist. Left foot whipped into the box that was headed in, but it was disallowed for a handball in the build-up, unfortunately. And it was a fantastic strike. If any of you can remember the Alan St. Maximin cross into Callum Wilson against West Ham, it was very much like that. He did a little whipped-in cross. It was really, really good. And then he managed to get a goal of his own towards the end as well. He sort of approaches the box, cuts inside, whips little left foot. His last few goals have been like that. So he's definitely not shy
I'm really
of
starting to
scoring.
doubt, Alex, whether you can go through a transfer show now without bringing Max's name into it. I think
of course
it's just,
not. I've got to mention it.
Well, absolutely. But one thing that stands out to me, Alex, is wages. That's something we could dramatically improve. Should he, of course, sign.
Well, I believe he came through the academy, or at least he's referenced as being as part of some of the younger setup. So I've not actually. We'll have to look, we'll look at him in transfer marks because I haven't looked that far back. I've just done the player research in terms of watching him. So I'll have a look.
I think Anthony's trying to wind you up, buddy. Was that Max's one and only successful cross? Lol.
Probably was. Because he was on the right. He never got used on the right, to be fair. So it was a nice little whipped-in cross.
Yeah.
So he was born in Tremblay en France. So it's in France. I don't know why it has to say it twice. He is 22 years old, so he's in that good age bracket. And obviously being at Monaco, don't we know somebody, Paul, that used to work for Monaco?
Let me think, Alex. Hang on. Is it not our sporting director?
It is indeed.
I thought I'd heard. Yeah.
He probably knows this kid, to be completely honest with you. So in terms of his goal scoring in Ligue 1, he's not scored in the league yet in 392 minutes. He should have, because he's on 1xG. He's young. Don't worry about it. Look what our forwards are currently doing. We can't talk. But he does have 2 goals and an assist in the Champions League. So he's done quite well there. He has been scoring at youth level as well, and I will show you that data. If we scroll down, I have done what everybody probably would have wanted, and I have compared him to Miggy. So there is a nice graph compared to Miggy. So as you can see, the red sticky outy bits is Miggy down the bottom, and these are some defensive metrics. So Miggy's defensive output is higher, but his chicken press is quite ferocious. So we know Miggy's good at those kinds of things. So maybe something we could get more of out of Akliouche. But he is quite good at ball progression. His progressive carries are about on par with what Miggy does. And again, whether you like Miggy or not, Miggy's ball progression is quite good. And his progressive passes are also very, very high, a lot higher than Miggy's. Successful take-ons are higher, so he beats his man more often, gets a lot more touches of the ball and gets more involved, has higher shot-creating actions, passes the ball more, touches the ball more, higher assists. Again, the sample size is okay, more goals as well. So this is based on 2,100 minutes, and it's okay. It's about 2 shots per 90, which you would argue is a little bit low, 36th percentile. We could probably do with him shooting a little bit more. But, it's a lot of build-up. They're trying to get Mbolo involved in the game. Minamino, that plays in behind as the attacking midfielder, takes a lot more responsibility in that regard. But he's good. Ball progression's fine. Tackle metric is nice and high as well. He is energetic. He can press. They do play a nice system. And if we scroll down, you can actually see that Anthony Gordon is on the list of similar stats. So Kulusevski is a warrior as well, works really hard. Eze's on there for the footwork. So it's a really nice sort of spread of different players that he's been compared to. And if we go down, if we got last season's goals, I don't think he played too much. He's quite young. 18. Oh, there you go. That's not bad, is it? 18 starts, 7 goals, 4 assists. Not too shabby at all.
Yeah, that's
very impressive for a 21-year-old at that point as well. So nice return last season. And if we have a look at his SOFA score, we have lots of green, so lots of positive match ratings. 183 centimeters is tidy. So what is he? 5'11", 6 foot, about 6 foot. Although I don't think his aerial dual win rate is very good. Yeah, no, that's a little bit poor. We could do with maybe that going up a touch. Maybe you
Do you
fill
know what
out
it is
a bit.
though? When you see SofaScore doing that with lots of green, they are very harsh, in my opinion, with their player ratings on a regular basis. So to see that is very
It's
well,
consistent. It is
it's
consistent.
very
Above sevens.
consistent, and it's quite warming to the heart to see a player like that, especially at only 22, who's regularly in the sevens on SofaScore, given their player ratings.
I think it does help that Monaco are in a good place right now. They've been built very carefully. They're a good side.
I mean, they've been
They've
in
got
the
a
wilderness
structure.
for a while, haven't they? Compared to where they were,
They
but
have.
they're getting back to. But they still don't get many people watching them. But we all know how they're.
Well, you say that.
It's a strange ground, though, isn't it? Really.
They did beat Barcelona last
Yeah,
month,
they did. Yeah.
and Akliouche scored the first goal. So I will take you to that game. That is the wrong game. That is the Red Star game. This is the Barcelona game.
He scored against Red Star as well.
He did. He scored against Red Star. He should have scored more. So Eric Garcia did get a red card, which definitely made it a little bit easier for them. It was a red card within the first 10-ish minutes. So, but still. So Akliouche, here he is. He played 90 minutes. He got his goal. Cross, a key pass, a long ball, 90% passing accuracy, 2 completed dribbles, 4 out of 7 ground duels. And yeah, contributed well. The stats are okay. It's a fair spread, but he is very, very important at ball progression, and they're dangerous on the run because these three together, Seguier, Minamino, and Akliouche, are all very, very attacking. Singo as well, by the way, is an
Is that Minamino who was at Liverpool?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, they've built a good little team they have with Zakaria in midfield as well. Salisu's gone there. Mbolo up front, big target man, big lump, who's still quite technical. And Singo is an absolute. I know we're not supposed to be talking about Singo, but he scored last night. He scored from like 30 yards. It was, and it wasn't like a Fabian Schär goal. It was like an absolute thundership, top bins. This guy's a freak in the best sense of the words. But yeah, so that was him against Barcelona. And him last night against Red Star on the right-hand side, getting very, very involved as well. There he is.
I mean, we just crying out for a player like that on the right-hand side. Crying out.
I mean, he was good. I watched him. He was good, well disciplined in defensive set pieces from corners. He nearly scored with his head from a corner as well. And he was a nice little trickster. He would cut inside. He would get to the byline. He's got a nice sort of low center of gravity. So he does what Barnes can do, except he's a little bit younger and quicker. So he can kind of get that space to get the shots away. And he's very accurate as well. He can do near post. He can send it either side. And it just looks like a very balanced player. Let's actually, I'm not going to try spelling his name. So let's copy and paste it into transfer marked because I don't know. Let's paste. Akliouche, here he is. DW Sports Management. Oh, and just for people that didn't see it, by the way, he has been playing for the there you go, for France U21s. So he assisted in the last game against Austria, scored in the one before against Cyprus, assisted in the Champions League, scored in the Champions League, and then he scored again for France U21s. So he's definitely hitting his stride now. He's playing regularly. He's clearly enjoying his football. And let's have a look at some important stuff. Oh, dual citizenship with Algeria. So market value is currently
not really
30.
a surprise with a French international, to be fair.
No, a lot of them are sort of dual nationality to a level, aren't they? But yeah, 30 million is the estimated current market value. DW Sports Management, I can't remember who they are. I mean, we can have a look if there's any.
I've heard of them before. I'm sure we've had a look at them.
They do Kalimwendo. They've got Demiral. They've got nobody that we've got. No, the values are getting quite low there. So nobody that we've got. So unless we have dealt with them when we were previously interested in Kalimwendo, again, we don't know how legitimate that interest was. I think we've looked at him previously as well, Demiral. But again, I don't know if it's true. So yeah, in terms of agency, not sure. Contract 2028. So that is 3 years at the end of this season. So whether it's January or the summer, but he's a good profile of player. And if it doesn't quite work,
I'll tell you something, Alex. I would snap him up in a heartbeat. I really would. Very, very, very impressive. In fact, if someone out of the two players we've done, if somebody offered me Sané or him, I know who I'd be taking. Put it that way. I mean, look at that. He missed one game through a hip problem.
Yeah, 2 days off with a hip aggravation, presumably, and that was it.
Yeah.
Oh no, wrong player. Sorry. There we go. Akliouche.
Yep, really impressed with him, and I think a lot of the chat are as well.
Good right wing option. Good, well priced as well.
He needs to sort his hair out, though. I mean, that's ridiculous, to be fair, for someone of 22 years of age. But you know, he probably doesn't.
We got linked with Wout Face, however we're supposed to say his name.
Oh God, yes.
Don't make me bring him on screen.
Very similar hair, yes, but a much better player than Wout Faces.
And for anybody who hasn't seen this guy, by the way, after the show, have a look at the Monaco highlights from last night, and you'll see he got involved a lot. He's very good to watch.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm sold on him. Well, I'm not sorry, actually, I'm sold on him.
First transfer show, that's it. We've got our right winger done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Paul Mitchell, come on. I mean, the links, they're all there. It makes sense. We need a player in that position. He's young. He's hungry. He's a fantastic
there may be better
footballer.
Options, but he's definitely he makes the list.
Why not go for two, Alex? You know, to cover injuries. Well, yeah, we need a centre half. We need a striker. You know,
Fabian falls asleep occasionally.
Does he really? I've never noticed that before.
Shut up, Todd. We're not talking to you.
Yeah, Todd will probably have a little gander at what Newcastle are doing and then put the bids in himself. We know what you're doing, Todd, old man. We know what you're doing. Yeah, I know there's probably going to be better players out there, but for the money, for the wages, I mean, listen, if Monaco do sell him, Alex, it's going to be for quite a bit of money. You know, we've got to be honest with that. It's going to cost quite a few quid.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting for 30. I mean, no. you never know, but they're in quite a good place themselves at the moment. They've got a good squad. They're performing well. I mean, I don't know where they are in League 1 at the moment.
John, I know I haven't seen him play. I know, but I'm going off what stats I'm seeing and what you know. I'd have to see him in the flesh, obviously, but Alex has seen him play, and I'll take Alex's word for it.
I mean, Monaco at the moment are joint first, well, they're second in Ligue 1 with 20 points. Yeah. PSG also have 20 points, but with better goal difference.
Yeah. They may not sell him in January, given Monaco may be pushing for a title. You know, why would they sell one of their top youngsters when they're pushing for a championship? So
yeah, we may get to that point, to be fair, where they won't get rid of him.
Yvonne says, Paul, would you swap living in Monaco for Newcastle? Absolutely, Yvonne. Come on. I mean, what's to like about Monaco? You know, blistering sunshine, beautiful blue seas, you know, the best lifestyle you could possibly have. But the word Newcastle would just draw you in, wouldn't it? Come on, Yvonne. Come on. Right, let's look at player number 3, shall we? Just wait till Alex gets the player on board. Hopefully it's a name I can say this time. Here we go. And it is Igor. Oh, my God. Igor Jesus Manciel da Cruz.
Igor Jesus Maciel da Cruz.
Well, Jesus. I just said it because it just says Jesus to me.
Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Right, so you wanted a forward. Here's a forward. He's a proper striker. There are issues with him because although he's a 9, he wears the number 99, which does aggravate me, as people know.
Yeah, yeah. That's Alex's reason not to sign him now.
However, I've actually kind of taken a liking to this guy, how he plays. So much so that Botafogo are actually playing at 1:30 in the morning, and I may watch him tonight. So nobody tell the wife. But yeah, he is playing tonight, so I may watch that if I'm still up. So he plays for Botafogo in Brazil. He's a 23-year-old striker, 5'11", a little bit physical. He's quite physical. He's not as slender as the previous one, as Akliouche. He has 5 goals and 1 assist so far in the Brazilian Serie A, with 2 goals and 1 assist in La Copa Libertadores. And if we scroll down, you will get some statistics for him.
Could you
I appreciate you don't know what he looks
player
like.
playing for Newcastle with a 99 on his back, Alex? I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
no.
just think if he had 99
Oh, we put that in the
his
bin
back,
straight away.
Yeah,
No,
if he was playing 99, he should have like a chocolate flake in the middle of the numbers.
Yeah,
just
get
for,
the Tipex
just for
out.
the hell of it, really.
Just get the Tipex, just so it's 1-9 just on one side. That'll do. So please bear in mind, for people who are new to our transfer shows on the Toon Review, that anybody from outside the top 5 big leagues in European football, the data, this is a bit more skewed. This is different because it's the Brazilian Serie A. This is data compared to the men's next 14 competitions. So all of the green, although it looks green, it's not as bright a green as you might think, because this is comparing his data to Scotland, to the MLS, to the Belgian Pro League. So it's not comparing it to like Spain, England.
It's not as
Germany.
green as Antacid's loft, is what you're trying to say, Alex.
Exactly that. So take it with a pinch of salt. However, you can still read the numbers to get something decent out of it. So he's still having 3 shots a game, which is nice. It's a healthy shot return. He's still creating 3 shot creating actions per game for his teammates. Ball progression is really nice. 3 progressive passes. So presumably anchor play, receiving the ball on the half turn or flick-ons and getting people forward, switches, things like that. Progressive carries are okay as well. And he is, despite being only 5'11", quite a beast in the air. 3.23 per 90 at only 5'11". He does chip in as well defensively. In terms of his career to date, we can go down and have a look. Where are we looking at? This one. So not too much. He's only just kind of, I don't know why we're missing years. I don't know what happened there. I've only just kind of started researching this guy in the last couple of weeks. So I don't really, I don't know. I'll have a look. I'll check that out. I'm sure Foxy's got an answer.
Maybe he had some sort of pelvic injury, Alex.
Well, and here he is. Here's the guy. They do like their crazy tattoos. And upon watching this guy, I think a lot of Newcastle fans would like him because he does give off very Bruno vibes. When he scores and when things happen, he's very, very passionate. He will never give up on a lost cause. When he's dribbling, he will fight tooth and nail to keep that ball until he either wins the foul or he gets free. For any nerds out there as well, when he scores, he does the Goku Kamehameha as well, which is quite a nerdy thing, but it's funny. So don't know why he does that. Let's go and have a look. Finishing and positioning. SofaScore are saying that ball control is a weakness. From what I've seen so far, I think that's quite harsh. But I'm going to watch him today, and I'll. It's only one game, but still, I think that's quite harsh. From what I've seen so far, ratings are through the roof for him on SofaScore. He's been doing very, very well. Oh, UAE Pro League, and Foxy's just said it there as well. Yeah, he went to the UAE. Interesting.
He did.
And here you go. Here is the game. Botafogo against Peñarol, if anybody wants to watch that. So he will be playing, presumably. And we can scroll down and have a look at some recent games. He's been on quite a good run of form recently. That being said, the most recent international break we had, he got called up for Brazil and he scored against Chile.
Chile, yeah, he did.
So he's playing, and that is v Brazil. So he's good enough to be getting called up for the national team, which is very impressive.
Hang on a minute. That is the Brazil as opposed to what other Brazil, Alex?
Well, maybe a youth.
The Brazil. That is the Brazil. It's not the Brazil in it's not the Brazil in London. It's
not the Brazil in London. Definitely not. It's the country Brazil. Can confirm.
Absolutely.
And we do like other teams in black and white. We've got an affinity for them, and they do also play in black and white in Botafogo. So in Brazil, he got an assist in the most recent game as well. Let's go and have a look. I've not actually had a look at this. Let's go and have a look. Let's go and see. Where are we? There he is up front. There's his little 99. So in a funny. Oh, I forgot Thiago Almada went there. He was the Atlanta United. Was he Atlanta United?
Alex Telles is there as well, former Man United player.
Alex Telles as well. Yeah, Thiago Almada is very, very famous. He's a very football manager kind of guy. Foxy saying Botafogo laughing if they get the 30-40 million profit from 3 months of work. Yeah, Yeah, I know, but don't shame me for this. I like how he plays. He plays tidy football. I love all the link-up play. I love the switches. He's good at the anchoring. He's got a good personality, a good work ethic. He knows where the goal is. Obviously, we need to do a bit more digging than that, but that's just from what I've seen so far.
Yeah.
So he is a very interesting player to watch. Let's have a look at some of the data. Where is it? There we go. So what did he do in this game? He had 3 shots, 1 completed dribble, got an assist, 46 touches, which is quite a lot for a striker, to be fair. 2 key passes, 4 out of 6 ground duels, 1 out of 4 aerials, and was fouled 3 times and had an offside. So created 1 big chance. That was presumably his assist. So got very involved in this game. His goal for Brazil was quite an easy one, to be fair. It was shocking defending by the Chilean defense. He basically just stepped in front of a centre-half for a free header. But, you've got to be there to score it. So fantastic moment for him.
Interesting he doesn't play 99 for Brazil.
They would never allow it. But, yeah, it was Savinho's cross into the box. Savinho did very, very well to get past. It was a great run from him, to be fair. And a nice, simple cross into sort of the 6-yard box that the keeper didn't come for. And the Chilean defender just decided to just not move. So Igor Jesus scored probably the easiest national team goal he's ever going to score.
Foxy says Balassi was on the bench in that game for circumcision or whatever they're called.
For who?
Sakuma?
Oh, for this one?
Yeah.
Is he in Brazil? I forgot about that. Let's have a look. Bingo for Yannick Bolasie. Oh, he is. There's Yannick Bolasie. Blast from the past.
Wow.
Of course he ended up in Brazil.
Where else?
So here is Mr. Igor Jesus with a big smile on his face. He's always smiling. 2 caps for Brazil now with his first goal. So that was his debut goal for Brazil. His first goal for Brazil. So citizenship. Duel with United Arab Emirates. Okay, what's gone on here then? Foxy, can you enlighten us, please? Did he just get given honorary citizenship to go there, or is he Did he?
Well, he might
Maybe
have.
He's from there.
He might have parents or grandparents.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, he originally started in Brazil, Coritiba U20s, and then Shabab Al Ali picked him up. Is that Al Shabab? Isn't that the club that wanted Miggy? I think it is that club.
Yeah.
And then he went back to Botafogo. So the fact that his market value
settling in wouldn't be a problem for him, would it? Because we've got certainly Brazilians who would take him under their wing, I guess. So he's not coming into a side where there's no Brazilian players.
It would be
like
an interesting
guy, I have to say, yeah.
It would be very interesting. Again, I think it's very, very risky, very risky indeed. We definitely need to watch him a lot more. But I'm quite pleased with what I've seen so far. He's an interesting player. But from what I've seen against, I don't know if that's going to translate to the Premier League, into how we play. I definitely need to do some more actual game watching for him. So next time we do a transfer show, I'll update you on how that match went.
Yeah. Right. Well, we're coming up to the hour, Alex. So do you want to quickly go through player 4, or are you going to keep that for the next one?
I think we'll save it. We'll save it. It is a striker, so he can be the main guy for next show.
The main guy for next show. Because we need one. But listen, we're going to continue these transfer shows right up until the window opens, and then of course throughout the window with who we're linked with. Again, they're just speculation, and obviously we just want to take a look at the players that are speculated to be interested in Newcastle. Just have a look at the stats like we've done tonight, and maybe talk about what they could bring to the squad should they ever do sign for Newcastle. It's interesting. We're not sitting here saying yes, they're going to be Newcastle players in January or next summer. These are just potential links that maybe Newcastle United are having a look at and what they could bring, because it's good for us to look as fans, to look at all these players and have an in-depth view of all these different players. So yeah, it's we'll continue these right up and through the window. But thank you very much for watching tonight. Remember, guys, if you are interested in sponsoring the channel for the Matchday Lives and for the daily news shows, we will put your logo out. We will give your company a big shout out. We will link in the description to your websites, etc. So if you are interested, nationwide, globally, it doesn't matter. Get in touch via the email address that is in the description below. Thank you very much to everyone that's super chatted, and of course memberships. Mods, thank you, and Alex, thank you. But a huge thank you to you guys out there for joining us on a Wednesday evening. We will be back live tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with the Chelsea preview. That's going to be interesting. Does Eddie change his tactics? Does he not? Let's see what we come up with tomorrow. Hopefully, Billy will be back with us for that one. Remember, guys, give it the thumbs up before you leave. And, of course, subscribe if you're new and you like what you see on the channel. But in the meantime, have a fantastic rest of your evening. And we'll see you all again tomorrow. Take care.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out the breeze.